as light flashes and consumes the space behind you, you kind of look backward. Immediately as kind of the flames and smoke begins to billow up into this space, you can hear shouting and voices begin to fill the vicinity. The crew that is currently working on the centerpiece is now like scattering and searching around, and you can see chaos is now erupting in the center of that chamber. 2 flashes of light. One, you see apparate this massive 12-foot tall metallic entity, and the other flash near the base of the key. You see an older elven gentleman with long silver hair.
Oh,
my God.
An extended staff. Has long blue robes with his pointed shoulder, pauldrons out. It is chaos in here at the moment, but you kind of saunter up in the middle of the room. You're the only one in the middle of this, and people are like moving around you, and there's that moment where you're like, oh, you're in the thick of it, and you're not sure.
One-man army.
What's going to happen? What are you going to do?
I'm just going to go pick her up. Maybe with one hand, I'll just grab a piece of that ruined wall and sort of just, again, move it aside like I'm trying to clear it off or something. And then with my other hand, I'll just kind of reach down and grab her so it all sort of looks fluid.
So you grab the chunk of wall stone, right? You hit it and the wall...
Oh, God.
You hit one of the load-bearing sections of the ruin as it now onto Rin. It's about a 20-foot wall that like tumbled over onto the side, and you just see like where Rin was, it's now just kind of stone and rubble. You don't see Rin at the moment.
Because she's also stone
but
and
now
rubble.
the room, like all the heads go and shift right over to where you are, because after 2 essentially terrorist attacks in the chamber, another wall collapsed, and you're standing in the middle of it, clutching a piece of stone.
I will just sort of hold up the rocks and go. As if to say, "Oops, sorry."
You see, like most of the crowd around you, be like, oh. And they just go about their business, like just super frustrated with this imperfect arcane tech. Ludinus looks down and goes, and then does this with his hand. And the entire automaton deactivates around you.
Oh.
As you both are all of you are kind of gathering at this space. And the first thing you see is a figure kind of begin to fall rapidly and then stop. And you watch as this figure suddenly gets grabbed, and the lavender-haired woman glides down gently behind it as the form of Caleb Widowgasp stands with the Mage Hunter Golem clasped around the back of his neck. But you do see another figure begin to descend the stairs. And this is a familiar woman with long blue robes, sleeveless, dark skin with the hair up that you have met, the Beauregard figure, who is just walking. As the lavender-haired woman just kind of has her hand extended. And you hear the voice ring out from the center as Ludinus, arms out, goes, "Thank you all for joining us. It seems we've had expected guests." At which point Beauregard now begins to walk through the crowd, and as they gather, they just begin to shackle and chain, gag, and set her there. "Someone, please free our ornament." And people start shifting the stone out of the way and pull up the slightly damaged statue of Rin, the right arm broken off.
Oh no.
He turns around, and where he's standing on the platform at the key, you can see there's this like a 6-inch wide opening, like a space in there, and he places his arm into there about the elbow. And as he puts his arm in there, you watch as those green residuum veins begin to light up and glow up the entire spire as he's now essentially fueling it with his own arcana. "Well, I guess it's time we brought it to us." energy charges up into it. You watch as this device begins to glow, and everyone around you in the chamber seems to freeze in place. All of you feel yourselves stop, like you can't move. You're not breathing. Everything's just kind of locked. And the stars above, the storm, pass by. Hours go by in seconds. Before the red moon is held aloft.
What? Shifted time.
And all of you come back into place as Ludinus pulls his arm out. And you see the hand, his arm is now like somewhat withered and dark. What are you doing?
Okay, Orem is gonna sneak through the rubble and get down in front of the warder.
You begin to scoot through the crowd there, and one of the people that like stepped out goes ahead and just grabs you on the side of the shoulder and goes, shh.
I will pause for a second and think and let time pass.
Okay, they just hold your shoulder in place and they look back up towards Ludinus. You have all gathered here for your true purpose. And you see a lot of the surviving members of the Vanguard around, kind of looking up, and you can see this kind of dull red glow beginning to emanate.
What?
From their skin.
From their skin?
You hear dust kicked up in the air. The cloud of earth that's risen and thrown up begins to slowly dissipate as you see what looks like a large boulder has slammed from above. As the boulder slowly begins to unravel itself as she lands.
Triple churned.
By the voice of the Tempest, halt this.
Into the deep kind of rumbling, earth-cracking sound of the voice, and casts Mass Cure Wounds. Ludinus kind of looks down and smiles. Right on time. No. She immediately freezes up, and you watch as Otohan darts out of the shadow. As Otohan goes and strikes all the incarnations just into this frenzy. The earth elemental form cracks, and then what was once shale and pebble becomes red blood scattering on the ground as Keyleth lies kind of frozen, eyes wide. Otohan goes for like a heart strike, and there's a dark flash in the air. And you see where Otohan's blade was. Instead, you see a cloak of feathers.
What? Fuck, what the hell?
Black raven feathers.
Wait, put it on the bingo. Put it on the bingo.
Is Vax on there?
You see a masked figure with long...
Shut the fuck up, man! Shut up! No fucking way! You cannot be serious!
Where is it?
Who is now standing over and protecting her body. Daggers in each hand. Don't you even dare.
Oh god. Oh god.
Orem, you're up with Fern on deck.
Orem comes trucking off of this rubble like a ramp. Land behind Otohan.
So attractive.
I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm right behind Otohan. I want to slash the fuck away at the contraption on her back and break it to shit.
Okay.
That's 10 points of damage.
Is
it still holding in place?
It's still holding in place.
Action
Like,
surge.
you see like it's starting to like spark, and Otohan already like is looking like over the shoulder, and it is like barely holding on from what you can see, but you go ahead and strike a second, and Otohan backs up, parries one blade, and then with the other arm kind of captures your other sword and holds your other attack in place and goes, don't you even dare interrupt. So Chetney.
You said something about natural predators.
All right, you leap towards his back, and right as you jump towards it, like he's just kind of looking out this way, and he goes, and you just watch as this field, you skid across the top and like slide over, and as you go over the top, you get one upside down glance of Ludinus just scowling at you as you begin to fall, as Liliana, who's holding her action, goes ahead and casts a spell down towards the champion of ravens. You watch as suddenly all the mirrors on the side of the tunnel turn on at once, and these bright beams of energy shunt into him like hundreds of reflecting mirrors. He triggers something within the machine, and you watch as the champion screams out in pain and is compressed down into a sphere of dark shadow. Liliana lifts it up with her telekinesis and places it into the empty spot of the machine. You watch as every Rudis born in the chamber stands tall as red energy filters out into the center. You watch as this incredible thick beam of red energy fires up into the sky. The sky goes from pitch black to a deep red to a multicolor explosion of magical arcane energy into white.